Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be predicting every wildcard matchups, and at the end of the video, I'll be telling you my 4 favorite bets in this playoffs. First game, Chargers vs Texans, and I think this is going to be a competitive game. The Texans lost Stephon Diggs, so I think their offense is going to struggle a little bit. It's not going to be as good as it usually is. The Chargers have a great defense. Their pass rush is great. The Texans offensive line is bad. I think the Chargers will beat the Texans. And I think the Chargers offense would do good against their defense. The Texans have been a great defense, especially at the pass rush. But I think the Chargers offensive line is a great blocking unit, great players. The rookies developed. I think that the Chargers will beat the Texans and cover the 2.5 spread, 2.5 spread. I think they'll cover it. But and I would say talk more about that later in the video. I have the Chargers beating the Texans. Steelers vs. Ravens. I think the Steelers are a good team. I think the Ravens are a great team. The Steelers, I think, are going to lose to the Ravens, but the Steelers can play competitive and have a chance to beat the Ravens, though, even though I don't think they will. It's a low chance, but the Steelers, if they play good defense, keep the ball away from the Ravens' offense, and if their offense can do good, then I think that the Ravens can. I think the Steelers can win, but I think the Ravens will win. But I think the Steelers will cover the 9.5 spread. So I think Ravens win, even though it's a close game. Broncos vs Bills. I think that the Bills will beat the Broncos. The Bills are a great team, and the Bills usually blow out their opponent in the wild card round. They get the 2 seed a lot, and they blow them out most of the time. But this game, it'll be maybe 14, maybe 7. The Broncos have a great defense. So I don't know how much the Bills will be able to score on the Broncos. I think this has blowout potential, but I don't think it will be a blowout. The Broncos are a great team. Bo Nix with Sean Payton is a great combination. Bo Nix is very many, like 20, like 10% Drew Brees. He kind of looks like Drew Brees. He's the confidence like Drew Brees. He's kind of like Drew Brees. So I think that the Broncos will beat the Bills. So I think the Bills will beat the Broncos in a close game. I wouldn't bet on this game. 9 - 9 is a weird number. I think it could be a blowout. I think it could be close. I don't think the Broncos could win though. But I would not bet the 9 at -9. I have Bills winning. Vikings vs Rams. This is a great matchup. The Vikings lost to the Rams all in the regular season, but I think they just played the Lions on a short week, and the Rams were playing good football, and they needed that game. So I think that's why the Rams won, even though the Vikings are a better team. I think the Rams will beat the Vikings. So I think the Vikings will beat the Rams, and I think the Vikings won't cover the 3.5 because the Rams always play opponents close. They have a veteran quarterback who's won a Super Bowl, Sean Payton. Not Sean Payton, and Sean McVay, who's won a Super Bowl. And the Vikings don't have a lot of experience in the playoffs. Sam Darnold has never played a playoff game, and this is the only year he has, which was not ass. And the Kevin O'Connell, he has played one playoff game, and he lost to Daniel Jones and the Giants. So I think the Vikings will still beat the Rams because they have more talent than the Vikings. I don't think Sam Darnold has to play all that well for them to beat the Rams. The Rams have no talent on defense. Kevin O'Connell can scheme up a good plan on offense, and Brian Flores does what Brian Flores does best and confuse Matthew Stafford. And the Rams offense hasn't been hot recently. I think the Vikings will win, but Rams will cover the spread because it'll be a close, low-scoring game. Vikings win. Now Washington versus the Bucs. I think that Washington beats the Bucs in an upset because the Washington has a quarterback who can run the ball. The Bucs are not prepared for a running quarterback uh like Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback. I think he's better than Baker Mayfield, and I think he'll use his legs, pass the ball. I think this is an upset waiting to happen, and Washington beats the Bucs. The Bucs have been week 1. Washington did lose to the Bucs by 2 touchdowns, but the Bucs were more healthy. Jaden Daniels was a rookie quarterback. He had a rookie head coach. He's still a rookie quarterback, but he's played 16 more games since then. So I think he's more prepared to beat the Bucs, and the Bucs are a little banged up, and the Bucs run defense isn't great. And I think Washington will beat the Bucs in a shootout. Commanders win. But just want to say one thing about the Bucs. If the Bucs beat Washington, I think they could beat the Lions, beat the Eagles. They have shown they could beat these top tier contenders in the NFC. Now the final matchup: Packers vs Eagles. I think that the Packers will beat the Eagles and upset. Every 5, 6, and 7 seeds will beat the 2, 3, and 4 seeds. I don't think that's ever happened before. It'll happen right now. The Packers played the Eagles super close in that game in Brazil, and the Packers were dropping footballs. Nothing was going the Packers' way, but they still played the Eagles close because the Packers knew how to play the Eagles. The Eagles and Jalen Hurts is hurt, and the Eagles without Jalen Hurts is worse than the Packers without Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts is going to play because it was just a concussion, but the I think that the Packers beat the Eagles in a close game. Even though the Eagles are great, but I just think Jalen Hurts concussion, they can't run the ball with him as much. So yeah, I think Packers win. Now the final part, Packers win. The betting. If you could put it, I wouldn't put this in a parlay, but if you were, I would like the Packers plus 5.5, Commanders plus 3, Steelers plus 9.5, Chargers minus 2.5, and then add Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown. I would like that parlay. I think that would hit, but that's a lot of lines that need to hit. But I would like that parlay. That seems like a good parlay. But if you're just betting outright winners, Packers plus 5.5, Commanders plus 3, Steelers plus 9.5, Chargers minus 2.5. These will all hit. All of these will hit. I'm super confident. I think the Packers will win outright. Even if they don't, it'll be a field goal game. Jalen Hurts is a little banged up. Commanders, once again, I think they'll hit. I think they'll win. It'll be a close game. I think they'll cover 3+3. Steelers plus 9.5. There's been one game the Steelers played the Ravens where the Ravens covered and beat them by more than 10, which is the last time they played them. So that's probably why it's plus 9.5. I hate that line for the. I don't would not. I like this. Ravens going to win, but I think it's gonna be a close game. Mike Tomlin will not lose another game in the playoffs and get blown out. Not again. And the Chargers minus 2.5. I think Chargers going to win outright and by probably a field goal. The Texans just don't have a good offensive line. I like these bets. I think these will all hit. Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. This is my playoff predictions and what I think is going to happen Wild Card Weekend. Hope you enjoy. Hope you have fun watching the games, eating some good food, and see you next video, which will be me being happy that all of these lines hit.